What's up everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video I am back in the world of Brightchester and I'm actually building a student housing complex and I'm building it on campus of Foxbury University. So this is student housing for students that go to Foxbury University, and it's actually been quite a while since I've built anything for students, so I was really excited for this one because I have never actually built student housing for Foxbury University before, which I know that's pretty weird because I did renovate two of the dorm buildings for Brightchester University. Like I renovated one of those dorm buildings and then the student housing house, what's called like Darkwing House or something like that. I renovated those two, but for Foxbury University I didn't really renovate anything besides the commons. So I was actually really excited to get back to building something for students, and this time for Foxbury University. So yeah, actually this building does look quite modern and it doesn't fit in with the rest of the houses in the street at all, but I thought that was okay because it's not really like, this lot is not literally in line with any of the other houses. It's kind of on its own. So what I decided to do was I wanted to build something more modern that kind of ties together with the university buildings, because those buildings are more contemporary, more modern looking. So I decided to build a student housing complex that would fit in with the university buildings a little bit more rather than with the houses in the rest of the street. So that's what I decided to do. And I'm actually really happy with the way that it came out. You can see me struggling a little bit with the shape and the size and the windows and everything because I literally did not know what I wanted to build when I started. Like, obviously I knew that I wanted to build student housing and that I wanted it to be more on the modern side, and I wanted it to be more like an apartment building, like an apartment complex. But I didn't really know what I wanted to do as far as the shape goes and everything. So I just decided to sit down and start building, and I was just fiddling around with it for a little while, but I do really like the way that it came out. There's lots of glass, and yeah, it's just really modern looking, and it goes hand in hand with the buildings in the background, at least in my opinion. And it also goes hand in hand with the commons that I redid for Foxbury University. I did a speed build on that quite some time ago, like when university first came out, but I'll try and remember to link that video somewhere here on screen so you can check it out if you want to. But if you do, you'll see that it kind of just goes hand in hand with the commons that I redid. So I kind of just wanted to keep that theme for this building as well. And I think it works out quite nice. You can see that I made like some sort of entryway for wheelchairs and stuff. I wanted to try and make that work, but I decided to get rid of it in the end because I realized I didn't use any elevators on the inside of the building, only staircases, so it wouldn't really make any sense. So in the end, I got rid of that idea, but I do think it was a cool idea, so I'll try and remember that for some other build, because it would be a cool thing if we had like wheelchairs and stuff like that in the game. Obviously we don't, but for the sake of the realisticness of the build, if that makes any sense, I thought it'd be cool to make some kind of entryway for wheelchairs as well. But yeah, like I mentioned, I got rid of it in the end, but I'll try and remember to do that for some other build, some other like apartment complex or something like that. If I ever get around to it, I probably will, because I thought it was a pretty neat idea. So I'll try and remember that for some other time. But yeah, here you can see me just fiddling around with the shape and the size of everything. I was thinking about adding that like terrace upstairs, but I got rid of that because it didn't really work out with all the stairs. There's already so many staircases in this building. Because it is 4 stories high, if I'm not mistaken, and there is 8 bedrooms in this apartment building. So what I did was I placed 8 bedrooms, like I mentioned. They're all identical to each other, and all bedrooms or all student rooms share 1 bathroom per 2 bedrooms, if that makes any sense. So you'll see that later on once we get to the furnishing. There's basically on every level there is 2 bedrooms with 1 shared bathroom, and then there's also 1 common bathroom that only has toilets and sinks. So there's no showers there, but I didn't think that would be necessary because every 2 rooms has 1 bathroom with a shower. I'm not sure if I'm making any sense trying to explain that right now, but you'll see that once we get to it. But I basically wanted to use lots of glass and lots of big windows because I love the look and feel of that, and I do think that is very modern looking also. And I just wanted this apartment building to be very light and bright and very modern basically, so yeah, I do think that it worked out quite well. I did decide to include that cafeteria item in here as well. So this student housing complex is pretty self-sufficient. Like there's common areas like a living room and a dining space and also a study area. So it's pretty self-sufficient in that way. And I thought it would be fitting to include that cafeteria item as well. So if you don't feel like you want to go to the commons to get free food or something, you could just buy it here at home if you wanted to. I do think that the food in the cafeteria is only free in the commons. So if you place a cafeteria anywhere else, the food is not going to be free. I'm pretty sure, I'm not quite sure actually, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So if you were to eat food at home here, you're gonna have to pay for it. But I mean, I just wanted the option to be there because I thought it'd be very realistic, because you can't place any proper kitchens in student housing in The Sims. So I did want there to be an option for food or to get food. I also included a fridge and everything and a microwave, so you can just microwave some food out of the fridge if you wanted to instead of buying anything, but I just wanted the options to be there. So that's what I went with, and I'm really happy that I did because, like I mentioned, this building is very self-sufficient in that way. You don't really need to leave this building to do anything. There's also like some computers and everything that you can use, but the bedrooms, on the other hand, are very small. I didn't want the bedrooms to be too large and have everything you could basically just need in there because I did want there to be reasons for your sim to leave their bedroom, if that makes any sense, because I think that is more fun for gameplay as well. So the bedrooms, you will see that later on, are very small. Not all the bedrooms have a desk even, but there's lots of other tables and desks in this building where you can just sit down and study. I just think for gameplay wise, that is a lot of fun to just leave your bedroom because it's not really any fun to be in your bedroom all the time. There's no other Sims around if you lock the door, that is. But I just think that there should be reasons for your sim to leave the apartment building or their bedroom. So yeah, that's kind of what I tried to do. I was really keeping gameplay in mind when building this, so I also made sure to place lots of doors. There's the front door obviously, but then there's 2 back doors as well. So because the building is pretty big, it's not too big, but it's still pretty big, so it takes a while for your Sims to get around the building. And for gameplay, it can sometimes be very annoying if there's not enough doors because it can take your sim a long time basically to just get from the front of the building to the back of the building, and especially when you're playing university and your sim has to get to class. If that takes them too long, they're gonna be late, and that's very annoying in my opinion. So I did want to just make this building as gameplay friendly as possible, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I tried to do, and I think it worked out pretty fine. I did play test the build, and everything works. I did have to move around a couple of things, but not like if you download the build, you won't notice it basically. So it all works. Every bedroom works. Every bathroom works. Every table, every desk, it all works. So I was really happy with that. And yeah, basically here you can see me just fiddling around with the exterior of the build. I wanted to place one of these logos. They come with dine out, so they're not basically for like student buildings or anything, but that doesn't really matter because I use those signs on the commons, on the Foxbury Commons as well. So I thought it'd be fun to just have the same logos on this apartment or student housing complex again, so that it kind of ties in that way. Maybe it's like a Foxbury student sign or something. I don't really know, but I thought it'd be a fun idea to just kind of try and make those buildings tie in together, if that makes sense. And as far as the color scheme for the outside goes, I just went with lots of grays and blacks and whites, so it's very neutral in that sense. But I did want it to look like it was just a brand new building that was built not too long ago, which was a struggle in some sort of way, because I did want it to look very new and like it was just built a couple of years ago, but at the same time, I didn't want it to be too luxurious because it is still student housing. So they probably didn't use the most expensive materials and the most expensive furniture and everything. It's probably still like pretty cheap, but still modern and just, yeah, not like too cheap, but also not too luxurious. So that's what I was trying to go for on the inside mostly. On the outside, it looks, yeah, pretty nice, but I just used lots of bricks and not too many different materials because I imagine that would be a little bit more expensive. So I just used different types of bricks because that would probably be the cheapest way to build something. I'm not sure, but that's just how it works in my mind. And here on the back of the building, I just created a little roof where you can just park your bike underneath there. And then I later on changed out that window here. You can see me do that right there for a door. So there is another back door, and it was just a little bit more realistic in my opinion, because then you can just park your bike there and go inside using that door instead of walking all the way around the building again. That would be not really realistic and a little bit annoying gameplay wise. And I just placed some plants and I did a little bit of landscaping, not too much because that wouldn't be too realistic, I don't think, but I did want this building to be, yeah, just a little bit more on the greener side of things, because the campus does look pretty green and the world of Britechester does look pretty like lush and green. So I basically just wanted this building to fit in that sense as well. Here you can see me just playing around with some terrain paint, and I'll just place some plants there. They probably have someone that takes care of all those plants and everything. It would be pretty neat if you were in university living in one of these, one of these complexes. I think that would be really fun, because you would live in this case with like 8 other students, so that would be a lot of fun. Could also maybe be a little bit noisy and a little bit loud from time to time, I think, but at the same time, it's nice because you do have your own bedroom, so you do have privacy in that sense, but there's also lots of common areas where you can just hang out and chill with your friends and just maybe give a party from time to time. I think that would be really fun. But yeah, here you can see we moved on to the interior of the house. So basically what I did, when you walk through the front door, when you walk in, or through one of the back doors, there's gonna be a pretty large like hallway space, and I just made that into an entryway. So I placed a couch there and I think a foosball table, so that is a nice little spot to just hang out. And then I placed like some sort of item where you can just drop some things on, like when you walk in the door and stuff like that. But I started out with the kitchen area here, or the cafeteria kitchen area. So there will be someone coming in to sell you food to behind that cafeteria item kind of thing. So you can go ahead and buy food from that person right there if you wanted to. But I also, as you can see me do that right here, place down some sort of kitchenette where you can just get food out of the fridge and put it in the microwave, make some coffee if you want to, and do the dishes. I made sure that there is plenty of trash bins around as well, and I just hung up some signs. I did try to make it look homey in a way, because it is still a house. Like, it was kind of a challenge to find a way to make it look like common areas, but still homey, because it's not the commons, it's still someone's house. or a lot of people's house. So it is going to be homey still, but there is lots of common area. So I just kind of had to find a way to make that work, and I was really having fun with that. But here is the hallway space that I was talking about earlier. There's stairs that lead to the common study area and the common living room. But I just placed down some cork boards and some bulletin boards and stuff. So when you first walk in the door, if there's any announcements or any like sports games going on or something, you can see that up on the board or change that if you want to. I thought that was a neat little hallway entryway kind of item. And then there's just some mail on that little table there, on that little surface. So I thought that was pretty realistic. And then I'm just going to place some dining tables in here. It's a pretty small and tight space, but I did manage to put enough like tables and chairs. I don't think there is enough for everyone to sit down at the same time. I mean, that's probably not going to happen because everyone kind of has their own life and their own schedule, but there's plenty of room to just sit down, and I just made the place a little bit more homey with some plants. I just imagined those plants to be fake plants because who is gonna think about watering those? I don't think any of the students would. Maybe someone, but I definitely wouldn't. So I was thinking that those are just probably like fake plants or something. And here on the outside, there's a little terrace area, and I just placed down some tables and chairs. So whenever the weather is nice and you just want to sit down and eat outside, there's plenty of room for that. And I just placed down a keg for whenever there's a party going on or something. And then the ping pong table, of course. You cannot have no ping pong table when you're building something for students, in my opinion. I really, really like that item that came with Discovery University, so I always try and include it whenever I'm building something for students, which is not that often, but right now I did. And here you can see we moved on upstairs to the common living area. It's fairly small, but still like a very nice and cozy little place to just hang out with your friends, or whenever there is classmates or other friends over to visit you, you can just hang out here and just watch some TV and play some games, stuff like that. So this is definitely not meant to be a study area. It's definitely meant to be just a hangout area. And I did get rid of that TV unit underneath the TV later because I did think it was just a little bit too cheap looking. I still wanted it to look like it was brand new and it had some like built-in cabinets and stuff. So I replaced that TV unit or console table or whatever you want to call it. I just replaced that item with some of these cabinets, and I do think that looks just a little bit more modern and a little bit more like it is someone's house rather. So I really like the way that it turned out. I used some pops of color in here, some blues and some yellows, which I think was quite fun. I do clutter it up a little bit because I was thinking it's missing something, so I just went ahead and cluttered it up. I do think that there is a pretty tight cleaning schedule for this house, because when you're living with 8 people, it is going to become messy quite fast. And maybe they do have the luxury of someone coming in every day to clean the place up, but I mean, they probably do, but not like every single day. So they're still going to have to pick up their own trash, of course, like a normal person would. So I do think that the people that live here do have some sort of cleaning schedule or something. But still, I think that students aren't always that neat. So I did clutter the place up with some debug items, with some glasses and yeah, just some drinks and coffee mugs and stuff like that. You'll see me do that in a little while. And here I just decorated the place with some posters and just some knickknacks and some lights everywhere. I wanted it to look quite like IKEA-ish, which the furniture that comes with Discovery University fits in that like furniture style perfectly, because the items do look more basic and more IKEA-ish, which is why I basically used all items from Discovery University for this, for the common areas, mixed together with some other items, of course. But yeah, I do think that this living room looks quite basic, but still a lot of fun. And I placed down a guitar and a gaming table so that there is enough activities to do if you just want to hang out here with your friends or with your roommates or something, maybe one of the students living here right now can play the guitar very well, so maybe they have like music nights from time to time in the living room or something, where someone just plays the guitar and you just kind of sing songs together. I thought that would be a very fun idea. And I also use some of those items that come with Get to Work, like that emergency exit sign, for example, and that fire extinguisher. I repeated those items. I placed them in like a couple of areas in the house because I think that's very realistic. Those are very realistic items to have in a building like this. So I did try and make it as realistic as possible with like little items like that. But here you can see we moved on to the study area. I placed a door in between this area and the living area because I do think that this is an area that is a little bit more quiet, obviously. So I later on hung up some posters that have a little like quiet sign on them. I found those in the catalog and I think that those came in handy for this area. So I basically placed a table with 3 computers and then just an empty table that is meant to just that is meant to be, I'm struggling to speak, I'm sorry. That is meant to be just an area where you can sit down and study and do homework or work on a group project or something. And I just cluttered it up because I didn't want it to be too messy or too clean. I mean, because for example, in the Commons, you're obviously going to take all your homework and stuff with you, but this is your house. So I was imagining that it's not too big of a problem to just leave your study books out there or something. So I just placed a couple of those on the table and then I used that weird little item that's like a toilet trophy or something. I don't know what it's meant to be, but I thought it was a really fun item to include in a student house. I don't know why, but I thought it was just funny. Maybe it's from some sort of silly game that they won or something. I don't know, but I just thought it was fun to use that. And here you can see we moved on to the common bathroom. There's 3 toilets and 2 sinks in here and I made it look very like modern and clean and I really like the look of this bathroom. I basically used the exact same furniture items in the student bathrooms like that are attached to their bedrooms, but obviously those also have a shower in them. But they have the exact same floor tiles and wallpaper and everything because I just imagined that this building obviously was just built brand new and they kind of just went for the cheapest way and just used all the same flooring and wall tiles and stuff in every bathroom. And I also only recorded one of the bathrooms because, like I mentioned, all the bedrooms and bathroom layouts are exactly the same. They're all identical. So I just literally furnished one bathroom and I copied it like 3 times. So all 4 floors have the exact same bathroom. And here you can see I moved on to the little hallway. There's basically just a hallway that is all stairs that leads to all the student bedrooms. I don't know the word for it. There's probably a word for it for a hallway that's all stairs. But that's basically what I did. So you can't get to the bedrooms from the common areas. I mean, you can get to the hallway that has the stairs in it. Obviously, I'm not sure if I'm making any sense right now, so I'm sorry. But I did want to just kind of close that area off a little bit more from the common areas. So yeah, I hope that makes any sense. And here you can see what I did was I furnished 4 of the 8 bedrooms because I didn't want this video to become too repetitive because it's 8 bedrooms that have the exact same shape and size and stuff like that. So what I did was I recorded 4 of the bedrooms and those bedrooms have a little bit more like personality to them. For example, this one, I furnished this one for someone who studies art and who wants to be a professional painter and stuff like that, as you can see by the easel that I put down. So I basically just furnished this bedroom for someone who's very creative. And I was imagining that they probably painted over their dresser. They did that themselves probably because they're just creative like that. And yeah, I just placed some older looking items, some mismatched items in this bedroom. And I was having a lot of fun with that. I really like this bedroom. They all have, I mean, the bedrooms are pretty nice. Like, they all have these big windows from Moschino stuff, and they all have a sliding door that leads to a shared balcony as well. So I think that is pretty, like, it's not luxurious, but it's very nice to have that. You can just open that sliding door and just hang out outside. The balcony is very small, so it's not by any means anything very large or luxurious or anything. But still, it's very nice to have like that big sliding door and a little balcony where you can just sit and hang out in the sun if you want to. So yeah, I did want to give the rooms that, like, yeah, just access to a little balcony and very large windows, so there's lots of natural light coming in. I mean, as a student, I would find that very important. Like, you still are gonna want to have a nice bedroom that has lots of like natural light and stuff. But here you can see the bathroom that I furnished, and this one is just literally the exact same on every floor because I just copied it 3 times and I only changed the mat or the little rug on the floor, I think. So that's what I did for the bathrooms. And as I was explaining, like, I only furnished 4 of the bedrooms on camera, and then the other 4 bedrooms, they are furnished. So if you want to go ahead and download this build, those bedrooms definitely are furnished, but they're a little bit more basic furnished and with a little bit less personality to them, but they're still very nice and good looking bedrooms in my opinion. I did try my best and make them look as homey as possible without having too much personality or too many items in them, because I'm imagining if you're gonna play with this build, you're gonna redo at least one of the bedrooms yourself, probably for your own sim, or maybe you like one of mine, so that's also possible. But I mean, it was going to be a little bit too repetitive if I was going to sit here and furnish 8 of the exact same bedrooms. I thought that would be a little bit boring. But this is the second one that I recorded, and this one is meant for a student who is very much into gaming and stuff like that. So maybe they are, I was imagining that they are in the robotics team or something. So they are very much into like robotics and computers and games and that kind of stuff. And maybe they are studying something, well, maybe they're studying like robotics, but they're also very much into like game development, game design, stuff like that. So that's what I imagined for this student, and I made this room pretty colorless. It's all black and white and gray basically, but I thought that was really fun for this one because I don't do that too often. I tend to make bedrooms more like, when they're for younger people, I tend to make bedrooms more on the colorful side of things and just a little bit more playful and stuff. But this one I imagine to be for a guy. It could also be a girl, obviously, but I imagine it to be for a guy who is just very much into sometimes just sitting in the dark and playing games and just being by themselves, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I did for that bedroom. And I also, like, there's also 4 of the exact same hallways to each of the bedroom floors, but I did try and kind of just clutter them up a little bit differently. I put down some storage space in each hallway and stuff, and some plants and just some decorations because I didn't want it to be too bare looking, if that makes sense. And then, as you probably saw, I did paint for every room. I did paint one of the walls, and for each room I painted the exact same wall. So I just imagined that the students who live here, they do have permission to paint over that one wall if they wanted to. So they can't paint any of the other walls because all the other walls do have either a door or a window. And I was just imagining that that one wall in their bedroom that doesn't have any doors or windows, you can paint that one if you want to, at least if you paint it back to white when you move out. So that's kind of the rule that I had in mind. So all of the students probably painted that one wall because it kind of gives you the opportunity to make the room your own a little bit more and give it a little bit more personality. But this one, as you can see, is very girly. Could also be for a guy, but the style is very girly. And I furnished this room for someone who is very into fashion and makeup, so I don't think that's possible, but maybe they study something that has to do with fashion design or something. I don't think Discovery University has any of those majors in the game, but I was just thinking that that could be a very cute idea. So I basically furnished this one with lots of softer pinks and beige and gray and just, yeah, very girly and soft. And yeah, I really like this bedroom. I really like the colors that I used here, and I made a little custom vanity. It doesn't work in gameplay obviously, but I still think that it looks very cute. And here you can see that I placed on the balcony just a couple of ottomans so that your Sims can just hang out there. And then I forgot the balcony on that floor below, so I just placed a little chess table there so that there is a chess table in the house as well for your Sims to use to work on that logic skill or something. And here I think this is the last floor. Yeah, this is the 4th floor, and here I furnished a bedroom for someone who I imagine to be very into sports. So I don't quite know what they would study. I don't think there is a sports major in the game either, but I was just thinking that this person is very into sports and they play all different kinds of sports themselves. And for the furniture, I used a lot of items from Tiny Living because, I don't know, I love that pack and I never really use any of these red swatches. So I thought this would be a cool opportunity to just try that out, and I kind of paired it with lots of blacks, details and stuff like that, and I really like the way that this room came out. I used that couch or that love seat that comes with my First Pet stuff. I don't think I ever used that little couch, but I do think in the black swatch it looks very cute. So yeah, I just placed lots of clutter in this room, lots of sports equipment and a football and a basketball and stuff like that, and just some books. They're probably like study books and stuff. And yeah, I just kind of cluttered it up with some sports equipment, and I love using that bowling pin whenever I can. I think it's just such a random little item, but I love it so much. I think it's really cute. And I just placed some sports posters on the wall. Maybe they're also a little bit into like space stuff and space movies. I don't really know, but I thought that this was a really fun, different looking bedroom, and I really like the color scheme in here. It's definitely one that I've never used before. So yeah, I was just having a lot of fun with the colors in here as well. But we are almost coming up to the end of this video, so I really hope that you liked this building. You can download it off the gallery, of course, if you want to. My username on the gallery is Simmarysims, and you can just place it in your game and use it as university housing. Everything works, and I just also placed some of these mailboxes, by the way. I don't think that they're actually functional. I don't think you need a mailbox for university housing. I'm not sure, but I don't think so. But I just thought it looked realistic to have those mailboxes on the front porch. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So like I mentioned, you can download this build off the gallery. You can always let me know if you did. And if you have any further questions or comments, you can leave those in a comment section down below. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next build. Bye!